So far, their activities have been confined in the UK to spreading propaganda, coming onto university campuses, including ours, putting up Islamophobic and nationalist stickers to intimidate staff and students, and handing out leaflets in the hope of recruiting. This was what was happening at Westminster Uni. They have also been handing out supplies to the homeless and have sought to use women's issues, piggybacking on the recent wave of sexual assault revelations, to push their own fascist narrative that rape is imported from the so-called Third World, painting themselves as saviours of white European women. Now, we have to ask why Generation Identity is using these tactics. And the answer is that they're trying to rehabilitate the face of fascism. They're trying to give fascism a pretty face, challenge the stereotype of street-fighting knuckleheads, and make their ideology palatable and acceptable so as they may enter mainstream thought. But they can never do enough good to cover up their hateful agenda of racial segregation and the ethnic cleansing of Europe. These are people who require you to perform a Roman salute, better known as a Nazi salute to most of us, to be a member, and who send their members to training camps to fight with knives on the continent. Their divisive politics is born out of an identification of the symptoms of the disease in our society: inequality, homelessness, poverty, but a gross misidentification of the disease causing those symptoms. The disease is not Islam. The true disease is capitalism. A system which requires the relentless pursuit of profits without regard for the consequences, be they rising inequality, rising homelessness and rents, falling wages and insecure work, a collapsing ecology, or any of the other myriad problems caused by this mindless profiteering. Fascist groups like Generation Identity are just another symptom of this disease.
I see two main reasons for this rise and for their increased mobilization potential in Germany, and also, according to my analysis, also in the UK potentially, which is firstly their appearance. They are not skins with boots and white laces. Secondly, they are not the kind of small-scale Nazi groups who refer back to the Second World War and are like, okay, just in grief of the past. They have a vision that they want to implement in Europe. This is what makes them dangerous. This is what makes them dangerous, because they sell this vision very, very well. It's a vision of division in the end. It's a vision of segregation, of so-called ethno-pluralism, which means that some people are better than others in the end, biologically, even though they try to cover that up. So I think the best thing we can do is to put a powerful vision against that. Because even though they might not appear like the Nazis that we know, the skins that we know, the core of their ideology is still the same. It's an ideology of hatred, it's an ideology of division, it's an ideology against us as a diverse community. So this is why I say, fascism, never again. Beware of the beginnings, alerta.
We cannot give fascists space, be that space on a lamppost for one of their stickers, or space on the streets to hold demonstrations, recruit and organise. We have a duty to challenge racist and fascist attitudes and behaviours anywhere we come across them in society, and to give our unconditional support and solidarity to the communities affected by fascist hate. However, anti-fascist tactics are just a temporary solution. If we truly wish to eradicate fascism, we have to eliminate the conditions that create it. Fascism is merely the capitalist response to crisis, an attempt to divide the working class so we will not be united against our common enemy.